Throughout history, humanity has witnessed nature's fury in its most devastating form. Blizzards that buried cities, tornadoes that ripped towns from the earth, firestorms that turned forests into hellscapes. These events weren't myths or exaggerations. They were real, brutal, and unforgettable. As global temperatures shift and weather patterns become more unpredictable, it's crucial to remember the disasters that have come before. This video takes you through the most extreme weather events in recorded history. Their terrifying power, human toll, and the scars they left behind. Brace yourself. This is not just a weather report. This is a journey into chaos. Number 1. The Tri-State Tornado, USA, 1925. March 18th, 1925. At exactly 1 o'clock in the afternoon, a monstrous tornado touched down in southeastern Missouri. It wasn't just any tornado. It would go on to become the longest and deadliest in United States history. With wind speeds possibly exceeding 300 miles per hour, this EF5 tornado traveled an astonishing 219 miles across Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. An unheard-of distance even today. In just over 3 hours, entire towns were flattened, schools destroyed, and families torn apart. In Murfreesboro, Illinois alone, 234 people lost their lives. By the time it dissipated, 695 people were dead. Emergency response was nearly impossible. Phone lines were down, roads destroyed, and communication paralyzed. To this day, meteorologists study the Tri-State Tornado as one of the most baffling and horrifying weather phenomena ever recorded. Number 2. The Indian Ocean Tsunami, 2004. December 26, 2004. A magnitude 9.1 undersea earthquake struck off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. What followed wasn't just a ripple or a series of waves. It was an unstoppable tsunami that tore across the Indian Ocean. Waves up to 100 feet high devastated coastlines from Indonesia to India, Sri Lanka, and even Somalia, thousands of miles away. Families on vacation had no warning. Locals had no time to flee. Over 230,000 people died. Entire cities vanished under the waves in just minutes. Stunning video footage captured the moment the water surged through hotels, streets, and homes. It was one of the first times the world watched, in real time, the fury of nature from every angle. In the aftermath, countries around the world rushed to help, and global tsunami warning systems were finally taken seriously. Number 3. The Great Blizzard of 1888, USA. In March 1888, a freak combination of cold Arctic air and moist Atlantic winds created a monster. The result, the Great White Hurricane, as it would later be called. Over 55 inches of snow blanketed parts of the northeastern United States. Winds howled at over 80 miles per hour. Cities like New York and Boston were completely paralyzed. Over 400 people died. Many froze to death within walking distance of their homes. Transportation ground to a halt, and telegraph lines snapped under the weight of the snow. This storm forced America to rethink its infrastructure, leading to the rise of subway systems and underground power lines. Number 4. Black Saturday Bushfires, Australia, 2009. On February 7, 2009, a brutal combination of record-breaking temperatures, drought, and intense winds ignited a national tragedy in Australia. Known as Black Saturday, the bushfires that tore through Victoria claimed 173 lives and destroyed over 2,000 homes. Flames spread at lightning speed, up to 100 kilometers per hour. In some areas, firestorms were so intense that they generated their own weather systems, including dry lightning and mini tornadoes. The fires were so hot that metal melted and trees exploded from within. It was one of the darkest days in Australian history, and a brutal reminder of how climate change amplifies the fury of fire. Number 5. The Super Outbreak, USA, 1974, April 3rd to 4th, 1974. Over a span of just 18 hours, the skies over the US Midwest and South became apocalyptic. In what would be called the Super Outbreak, an unimaginable 148 tornadoes tore across 13 states. Entire neighborhoods were erased. Homes were reduced to splinters. Schools and churches crumbled into dust. More than 300 people lost their lives, and over 5,000 were injured. Some towns, like Xenia, Ohio, were so thoroughly destroyed that rescue workers couldn't recognize landmarks. Radar images showed swirling vortexes, multiple twisters touching down simultaneously. It was a weather event so extreme that it pushed meteorology to its limits and changed the way tornadoes were forecasted forever. Number 6. The Central China floods, 1931, rarely taught in schools but undoubtedly catastrophic. The 1931 China floods remain the deadliest weather-related disaster in human history. Triggered by heavy snowfall, torrential rain, and a devastating cyclone season, the Yangtze, Yellow, and Huai rivers broke their banks. The floodwaters swallowed over 180,000 square kilometers, the size of many entire countries. Villages, rice fields, and entire cities disappeared beneath water that lingered for months. Disease ran rampant, crops failed, famine set in. Some estimates place the death toll as high as 4 million people, and yet the tragedy is largely forgotten outside China. It was a humanitarian crisis on a scale rarely seen in human history, with lessons still relevant today. Number 7. Typhoon Haiyan, Philippines, 2013, November 8, 2013. Typhoon Haiyan, known locally as Yolanda, made landfall in the Philippines. It was one of the strongest tropical cyclones ever recorded at landfall, with sustained winds reaching 195 miles per hour. But it wasn't just the wind, it was the storm surge that turned deadly. Walls of water over 20 feet high crashed inland, swallowing entire neighborhoods. The city of Tacloban was nearly wiped off the map. More than 6,000 people died, and millions were displaced. The international response was swift, but the damage had already been done. Haiyan was a grim preview of what super typhoons might become in a warming world. Number 8. The European Heatwave, 2003. Summer of 2003. Europe experienced a heatwave so intense it shattered temperature records across the continent. France, Germany, Italy, Spain, all scorched under oppressive heat. In Paris, temperatures soared above 104 degrees Fahrenheit, or 40 degrees Celsius. Thousands of elderly people, many living alone without air conditioning, died in their homes. The total death toll climbed to over 70,000 lives. The deadliest heat wave in recorded European history. Hospitals were overwhelmed. Morgues ran out of space. This tragedy sparked national debates and led to new policies for elderly care, heat preparedness, and climate awareness. From fire to flood, from storm to silence, these extreme weather events show us just how fragile our world can be. In the face of rising global temperatures and unpredictable weather, these stories serve as warnings, lessons, and reminders of nature's fury. History doesn't just repeat itself. Sometimes it comes back louder. What will the next century of weather look like, and are we truly prepared? If this video opened your eyes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history's most powerful stories. And in the comments below, let us know, which event do you think was the most terrifying?